Hi, everybody. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we are doing day 19th of our 30-day challenge. So, I'm going to just take a moment to share this wherever we need to share. We are here on day 19th. R2, so good to see you. Welcome. All right. All right, so let's get started, guys. Really happy to be here again with you, and I'm just want to remind you that our Wisdom Con is just 1 week away, and I am carrying out a series of interviews with some incredible researchers, speakers, and light workers that are very close friends of mine that are here to help us understand and embody the work that we're here to do together. Different modalities, different ways of looking at things, and it's always good to have so many different perspectives on how to heal and how to understand this kind of co-creation that we're participating in. And one of the interesting things about that is that each one of these speakers has such profound wisdom to share with us, and it's always going to reach us in a different way. There's little key elements in those things. So I will be posting directly after this video an interview with dear friend Alan Steinfeld, and you'll see a great conversation with him about extraterrestrial consciousness, or the interaction of consciousness, and how we are, his book actually, Making Contact, how we're making contact. So I look forward to sharing that with you and hearing your feedback. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. And please do share. If you want to register for the conference is donation based. You can either donate $50 for the 3 days, 3 full days of the conference, including the vendors and access to all of the healers. They will have vendor virtual healing rooms available for you. And all of that will be listed on the website for you to just go in, buy the name of the healer, and enter into their Zoom room to connect with them. So this is a completely new concept that is created as a result of course, the fact that we can't all gather in one place, right? And because we have such a beautiful international platform here where we have so many people from around the world that are part of our family, the idea is to open a space for all of us to connect with one another virtually and have those answers, those questions answered, and to find the connection with one another that we need at this time in order to assist us in our work, in the process, in our healing. And there's so many tools out there and so many ways of finding these answers. So this conference is a really great way to find resources and to just learn and expand the mind in so many different directions. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful. So the series of interviews that are going to be posted are available on my channel. And if anybody has any questions, post your question down below and I will place that in our interview process. The conference is 3 days beginning on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the 24th to the 26th. And we are also going to be having panel discussions with all the guests, which are always so much fun, and answering your questions live. So it'll be really great to engage with you guys. So mark your calendars and make time to come and join the family. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So let's begin today. What we're going to talk about is we're going to be taking a look at triggering truths, right? One of the things that we're dealing with right now in the world is dealing with triggering truths, things that we are seeing or whatever we perceive as truth, information perhaps, and becoming triggered by information in such a way that it begins to bring up old feelings, old emotions, old memories. And this is something that's really happening right now. And I was sitting in meditation today just questioning, what is happening that we're having so many of these old things coming up? Well, the old things are coming up because they haven't been dealt with. And so what we are doing, hey, welcome everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you. So what we're dealing with in these triggering events that are happening, not just globally, but in our own internal lives, with our own internal dialogue, sometimes there are triggering things that come up. And so the idea is that we begin to work with those triggers throughout the day, completely conscious as you are interacting in your experiences, heighten the awareness of what your relationship is with the information being given. And what's the trigger? What is the wounded part of us that is responding to the trigger that is being triggered by this information, right? And the question is, in order to discover what part of us feels helpless or fearful or lost or pain or suffering as a result of that information, and supporting those parts of us as we begin to expand our perspective on that information. So I'm really excited to connect with you guys and work on this today. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Okay. We're going to ground down to the center of the earth. We're going to create a big protective field around the body. Grounding the self, coming into the moment. Okay. Tapping into the 5 senses. What are we hearing? What are we sensing around you? What are we smelling? What are we tasting in our mouth? Breathing deeply. And as we inhale and exhale, breathing deeply, you're just bringing the mind into a stillness. All the thoughts of the past, all the thoughts of the future, all those little ideas, thoughts, sensations, feelings that want to creep up as you begin to sit with that stillness, just kind of acknowledging them and just focusing on the breath, focusing on the body for a moment. As we begin to relax the body, taking the attention to the base of the feet and just relaxing the body, acknowledging the cells within the body, breathing deeply, noticing what is living in that space. Okay. Breathing deeply, going up into the shins and the calves, breathing deeply. Speaking to the body, connecting with the body. The body has so much information for us. We store so much pain, so much suffering, so much anger. Okay? Going up into the knees. Just connecting with the body, breathing, allowing yourself to be still. It's in the stillness that we can begin to see truths. Uncomfortable truths sometimes, but things that we must acknowledge and see. Going up into the thighs. Breathing deeply. Okay? Notice what we're carrying in the thighs as you breathe deeply, relaxing all of the tension in the body, and then focusing on the base of the spine. On the sit bones. This is where we store a lot of really heavy emotions that we don't want to see, that we don't want to feel. So take your attention to that part of the body and just begin to kind of sit with the information that's there for a moment. Breathing deeply. What's living there? Taking awareness. We're going to go and take our attention forward into the sexual organs of the body. Okay, we have a lot of information here. So go ahead and tune in to that part of the body, and as you breathe deeply, Notice what you're holding on to there. All of the tension, fears, anxieties, insecurities, shames, guilts, angers, resentments. This is very important to work with this, because this is where a lot of our life force energy is directed into the physical. So just release anything that is tense in this space. Breathing deeply. And as you release, as you come back to that silence, as you come back to that breath, you begin to feel that there's an expansion that occurs. There's space. It's in that space that you can begin to feel something more powerful. Okay? That potentially is our entry point into understanding what love is. This neutral point. You're going to go up into the solar plexus, the center core of the body. Breathing deeply. And this is where we tend to hold on to the majority of our emotions. So with every breath we take, I want you to focus on the front of the body as much as you focus on the back of the body, because there's different levels of information that are stored there. Oftentimes, a lot of deep old traumas, childhood traumas, karmic cyclical patterns are stored in the back of the body. They're the ones that are the hardest to feel and the hardest to look at. The parts of us that we deeply reject, resent, ignore. Okay. Just breathing for a moment. And just acknowledging what's there without any judgment, observing. Going up into the chest now, okay, into the back, and just connecting here with the heart center. Okay, what thoughts do we have here in the heart center? Connect with it. What are you carrying here today? Observing without any judgment. And as you focus on any sensations, informations, you're going to just sit with it. Observe it. And we're picking up information as we move on. You're learning about why we are here today. Going up into the shoulders. Notice what we're storing there in the front and the back of the body. Down the arms, down to the palms of the hands. Okay, going down to the root chakra. Go ahead and close that chakra all the way down to the size of the dime. Close it down. Breathing deeply. The mind is very powerful. The mind is what creates. And reality is subjective. It's changing as you observe it. So, you have a lot more power than you think. As you go up into the sacral, go ahead and close that chakra all the way down to the size of a dime. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. Going up to the solar plexus, closing that chakra. Breathing deeply. Bringing the body into a state of neutrality so that we can go deeper in our observations. Non-judgmental, and then tuning in to the activation of the intuition so that the intuitive mind can begin to look at this information with a lot more wisdom. So going up into the heart, and you're going to expand that heart chakra as wide as possible. If you've had a heavy day, a heavy week, if you have a lot of heavy emotions, if you are feeling disconnected, when you open this chakra, you begin to tap into a consciousness that's beyond the physical, the limitations of the mind. It is the truth. Go ahead and tap into that. Open the heart center, front and back. Okay, going up into the throat, you're going to open that chakra as wide as possible, opening the center of communication and expression. Going up into the third eye, open that chakra, front and back. Okay. Now we're creating our energetic field around the body. Visualize that energetic field around the body. With every breath you take, allowing yourself to remember that everything inside this sphere is what we control. It's what we create. It's what we can change and manage and control. So everything begins and ends inside of this field of your body. You're going to go up into now the third eye. And we're going to go up into the crown. And go ahead and enter your creative color. What is your highest vibrational expression? Go ahead and enter it into the crown, into the area of your career, abundance, love, relationship, health, your partnership, your most intimate relationships. Your purpose. What are you here to do? And finally, your soul, the work that you're here, the spiritual work, spiritual evolution. Fill that in. Breathing deeply. The moment you begin to change your vibrational frequency, you begin to change the things that are around you. You affect this so-called reality. Because again, everything around you is subjective. It's changing. It's changing constantly. The way that you observe it, the energy that you put towards it changes things. But we can only feel that if you're aware of what you're doing. You can only utilize that for your progression, for your understanding. So with every breath you take, as you begin to embody this connection in the body, grounding yourself, you're going to begin to run energy. And we're going to bring in a powerful wave of a gold energy that comes into the body, creating a powerful vortex around the body. Powerful gold wave from source. You're going to mix those two colors, gold and gold, creating powerful vortex in your multidimensional body. Go ahead and ground that energy down, anchoring it into the center of the earth, channeling that cosmic energy in through the body, clearing out any heaviness of your day, emotions, fears, anxieties, thoughts, traumas, insecurities, everything out. Okay, you're going to take more of that. You're going to shoot it up your spine and from the crown of your head, creating a fountain, clearing any cords with people, places, and things in this matrix. Anything that we are no longer in alignment with. It's really important to consciously disconnect and call back your energy in your body. Call it back. Inhale deeply, bringing back your life force into the body, anchoring it, grounding it into the body. Breathing deeply. Taking a moment to feel this energy moving through as we heal. Just imagine that every layer of the body is kind of being cleared, swept away, all of this heaviness. Okay. Very good. Okay. You're going to go back to your solar plexus, take that final 10% up your spine, and from the palms of your hands, fill the inside of your multidimensional body. Go ahead and feed it into the body, into the pores, into the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cellular level. Breathing. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. Very good. And as you sit in this stillness, I want you to begin to just notice all of the parts of your day, of yourself, in your experience today that have been triggered. You're going to begin in the morning, okay? And a trigger will be any time that we want to react to something. Anytime that we want to react to something. Just notice. We're responding or reacting to something. Take a look at yourself in those moments. Beginning in the morning, at the beginning of your day today, or perhaps it's your night. Just observe as you review your day. And just look at yourself and the emotions that you felt in that moment of being triggered. Observe yourself. Breathing deeply. With every breath you take, you're going to go now later on in your day. Okay, let's go around noon, taking a look at yourself, at those triggering things. And the question that we're asking ourselves as we feel these emotions is it true? Okay, does it have to be true? Is this something that we need to respond in the way that we do respond? Do we feel truly the way that we felt in that moment? Is what's informing those reactions, is it based in love or the lack of love? Take a look at that. And this love is towards the self, right? First, towards the self. Are you aware of yourself in that moment? Of where you're at, of your needs, of why you are being called to respond in that way? And just observing those parts of us. Sometimes you might get a lot of information about yourself. At times, overwhelming pasts will come up, memories of things that have occurred. Sometimes we replay some of these things from the past in the mind. And so in that moment, just observe. You're going to bring yourself back into the present moment. And it's almost as if you're watching it on a movie screen. You're not there, you are here. And sometimes if you need to just open your eyes for a moment and check in with your body, because sometimes, especially now with the energies of the world that are so strong, sometimes they magnify these emotions. And what happens is we get stuck in that emotion. And it's hard for us to feel like we can move forward in meditation. We get overwhelmed. So first technique to help you in that is by closing the first three chakras, to disconnect any imbalanced emotions that we're still healing, and that what will be informed is a more neutral perspective. Remember, your heart, your throat, any time that you start injecting the memories of these experiences and you become triggered by them, it means that your chakras are open. There's too much out of balance in the lower chakras. They have grown so, it means, and what it means that it's grown out of balance, it means that it's storing a lot of unconscious and subconscious information that we haven't addressed and dealt with yet. So as you can see, anytime that we have undealt with thoughts, undealt with emotions, undealt with beliefs, unacknowledged parts of us, pains and sufferings that we just ignore, all of that begins to rule over the way that we perceive reality. So as you begin to observe that, you're going to observe the experience on a screen, and you're just going to watch yourself as if you're watching a movie of yourself. And I want you to tap into a compassionate way of observing yourself in those moments in which you're not judging, but you're noticing what you need in that moment to choose something different. If the choice in that moment isn't love, but the lack of love, who is lacking that love? Who are we expecting to provide us that love in that moment? Is it someone external? And if it's someone external, do they have the tools to provide you with that love? If the answer is no, and the highest level is never to expect another to provide you with things that only we can provide ourselves with. Because the other is also searching, is also suffering, is also confused in their experiences. They're just like they're disconnected. We are also experiencing a disconnect from our source. We forget who we are. We forget what we are. We forget that we are that love. We are infinitely that love. And so we begin to become triggered, just that moment that we forget. But the moment you remember, now you can come back and make the choice. And that's where the free will begins to become embodied. So take a look at these parts of you and just observe that. And all the things, the memories that come up, you're not going to get identified emotion. You're just going to see it as a movie, just watching, observing without judgment at all. Go ahead and continue as you begin to look through the rest of your day. We're going now into the evening. And as you go through this, you're going to notice that the body becomes lighter and lighter and lighter as you do this, as you begin to release so much energy that was stored within the body. This energy that's stored in the body actually drains us of our life force. So with every breath you take, just allowing yourself to come back home to this baseline of neutrality, of observation. And it's a place in which you can begin to make choices that are more healthy for you. You're going to see that you're more connected to the needs of your body. Perhaps you need more hydration. Perhaps you need to eat healthy food. Perhaps you need more rest. Perhaps you need to connect with yourself more. So all of these truths are only available to you when you begin to unpack all of the untruths that we are telling ourselves. So as you begin to go through the day, just look at how sometimes observing these things and observing the truth of those moments can be very uncomfortable. Sometimes we notice that because we're in pain, we act out in some ways. We begin to notice that sometimes we attract those kinds of interactions with others because we're already feeling that way subconsciously. But we haven't acknowledged it, so it just comes out, it attracts, and it acts out. So just observe yourself without any judgment, noticing, observing, and learning yourself. Breathing deeply. Very good. With every breath you take, continue going up now in the evening or in later in the day or wherever you are in the world. Observe your time, even if you just woke up right now. Just observing all the emotions that you felt perhaps the night before you can go through your day. As you begin to look, see if there's a certain common theme with the emotions that you felt today. Take a look at that. What's the common theme? A lot of people today are feeling very disconnected, very lonely. So take a look at that. Is it true that we're alone? Notice that. What happens when we become alone? We believe that we're disconnected. We're disconnected from others. Are we truly disconnected? No. We are in a sea of interconnected life force. There is no separation between yourself and anything. So what are the belief systems that cause us to feel isolated from that source? Okay? What is the emotions within us towards ourselves that are blocking our ability to embody the connection with ourselves? Go ahead and look at that. As you begin to observe that connection, the entire body begins to adjust little by little. Okay. And just noticing how we reject our own greatness, how it becomes fearful to embody this perhaps responsibility, this greatness of being conscious and awake. What do we do to sabotage that connection in our life? Are we afraid of it? Do we reject it? Do we not believe it? Do we doubt that we have that ability? What is occurring in the subconscious mind? And what I want you to do is I want you to take yourself back even deeper now. We're going to go back to the very beginning of time, to the womb. And as you're in the womb, begin to observe the emotions that are around you, the thoughts. Notice the perspective that you have of your connection to Source at that time. The perspective of being connected to things. Who do you feel most connected to in that moment? Observe that. Is it something beyond you, beyond your mother, beyond the father, beyond the circumstance of being born and coming into life? Are we aware of our connection to something greater that is beating at the center of the heart, that is pumping life into this existence? Just observe. And observe the relationship that our parents have with truth. Things that are very clear. How are they uncomfortable with their own truths about themselves, about life, about what is occurring in that moment? Just notice that. Notice how the beliefs can seem so strong and so powerful in that moment. And yet, as you look at them, as you observe them from outside, you begin to notice sometimes little inconsistencies in those beliefs, how those perceptions have become limited by fears, by programming, by self-doubt. And as you're here observing that, checking in with yourself inside of the womb, and just connecting with that infinite peace that you have in there, that womb, that safety for a moment. And you're going to begin to dissolve all of your surroundings inside of that womb and visualize yourself in the universe, in the womb of the universe. As you begin to move up into the universe, you have a distant visual of your mother's womb, far away. You begin to see the earth far away from you, but you begin to see so many other stars, so many planets around you, as you are at the center of the universe. Tap into what's there. Notice that infinite light that surrounds you. Breathing deeply. As you come to the center of this universe, I want you to tap into the information that is available for you here as an organism. What is your purpose? What are you here to do? Take a moment to connect to the entire universe as you begin to notice that you are no longer in that womb. You are almost as if you've dissolved into this same light, the light which surrounds you. And this light is frequency, it's energy, it's vibrational frequency, moving all around. And through this light travels information. So as you connect to the highest aspect of yourself in the center of the universe, you're going to tune in to the place from which you're from. You're from the all, a place which has information for you that will guide you in this moment in your life, on this journey. Go ahead and tune in to that and sit for a moment in this interconnectedness with the all and begin to listen to the information that's available to you here. As you observe what it feels like to be interconnected to absolutely everything, to be one with everything. Notice how all of the problems that we've had in our life become a little smaller. Notice how you find some peace in this place, some silence, some quiet. And this is where you can begin to hear something different than our limited perspective. Oftentimes our perspective here in our daily life is survival, the ego, the survival, the identity, the wanting to be something, someone, a definition. How does that hinder? How does that limit who we are moment by moment as you experience things? What if we were to recreate the self every moment as experiences happen? Just fluidly moving like this light. It's moving without shape or form. It just expands, contracts, moves around. So notice how those triggers can begin to look so small, so limited. And you, as the all, begin to see things a little bit differently from this perspective. Breathing deeply. So take a moment here to listen to the message that is needed for you at this time about all of these things that are occurring in your life. The quantum field is an infinite vessel of light and creation. When you tune into it, you can begin to access a wisdom far greater than that of the limited human mind. It adjusts patterns of frequency and light that begin to adjust the human body, to expand the genetic format of the human body. Begin to integrate this light in the body, and it begins to dissolve all the knots of energy, of emotion, patterns, blockages that are within the body, in a very fluid manner in which you don't have to work hard to do it. Because once the conscious matter becomes aware, it can flow freely. Because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to constantly evolve, to constantly move. So bringing in these waves and patterns of infinite information through the body, begin to heal the body, to readjust it, anchoring it at the base of the spine, going up every single vertebrae as it readjusts the nervous system, the neurological system, and all of the major glands, hormonal glands of the body, the endocrine system. So notice the heavy chemicals that can reside in the body as a result of those heavy hormonal secretions of survival. When we're in survival, we're heavily filling the body with chemicals. So become aware of those heavy chemicals, how they have affected the organs, how they have taxed the life force of the body. And just release, almost as if you're releasing heavy green, yellow bile out of the body, bringing this beautiful body, this system, this organism back into a state of neutrality. And the DNA of the body begins to have an opportunity, a breath, to begin to recreate itself, to write a different pattern. It's like poetry is being written that is more constructive and expansive, and you are the product of that writing of that genetic code. But as soon as this energy becomes contractive, then it doesn't know how to write. It writes repeated letters, incomplete sentences, all kinds of gibberish. So the system cannot create. So as you breathe deeply, just sitting in that stillness. As you are here in the center of the universe, breathe in the life force that is available to you infinitely to heal this. Notice how your physical body is like a hologram. It's just one fragment of potentially millions of fragments. You and me, each other. As we are one, you are I and I am you. When I heal, you heal. So just allow that breath and imagine that you are bringing in that life force into the center of your light, the center of your organism that is floating in the center of the universe. You're going to channel that into the body, into the physical part of you. And you see it in the distance. Perhaps on planet Earth you are seeing your body. It's receiving the patterns that you're sending from the center of the universe as it begins to grow. How more expansive that feels. The center of the universe here, where there lies an origin of you, some kind of continuum. It's a continuum. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just the infinite that you can tune into. Okay. So once you have felt that you've absorbed from this space, from this light, all the energy that you need to restore and heal your body, you're going to bring yourself back now into the physical body and just bring yourself directly back into the room, still remembering that connection to the center of the universe. And you're going to realign the body so that it can anchor that kind of peace. Go ahead and open the root chakra. You're going to spin it. And just gently spinning. It doesn't have to be something forced. Just allow the energy to move through that now in the lower parts of the body. Notice where you have any blockages in the lower legs, in the feet, that can be kind of moved out now. Easier. Okay? You're going to go up to the solar plexus, the sacral. Same thing. Open it back up into a balanced state. Moving out. Anchoring into the earth everything that doesn't belong in the body. Any heaviness. You're going to go up to the heart. Okay. Lift off any heaviness that's there. Again, the body should be fluid now. Connecting, remembering that center light that is available to you. Pulling that out. Going up into the throat. Pulling that out. Into the third eye. Just noticing that everything is at it as it should be. You are exactly where you need to go. There doesn't need to be any guilt, any shame of anything that has occurred. And you feel this incredible forgiveness. And that forgiveness, the power of forgiveness, is the acceptance of the self without judgment for yourself, and the acceptance of others without judgment of them either. What a freedom that is. Do you see how you can flow freely through that? So allow yourself to go back up into the crown, going up to the eighth, illuminate the eighth. Illuminate the ninth. Illuminate the 10th. Illuminate the 11th. Illuminate the 12th. And the 13th. And above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and connect up into that source as central universe. Is you. You are you. It is you. Bring it down and surround yourself with this. Go ahead and tap into love, appreciation for this body, appreciation for this time, the work that you're doing here today. You are the all. And you have the ability to change at any time, choosing between love and the lack of love in whatever it is that you're doing. This is the empowerment of the human, the collective. So as you allow that to integrate into the body, notice that there's more room now, even for the breath. There's more space, right? Because that's what we are. Very good, guys. What a gift to share this time with you. I had so much fun doing this meditation with you, and I really hope that you received something from it. I want to say hello to all of my new subscribers. A lot of you have been reaching out to me and messaging. It really is such a powerful gift to connect with you, beautiful souls, and I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. Your light work, your healing, the progression, the questioning, and the continued love of the self that is being expressed through that work is just phenomenal. So it is an honor to be there with you. So thank you so much, everyone that is in the chat. And I really hope that you guys have an incredible night. And I will see you tomorrow. Yesterday, I ran out of hours of the day to be able to do this in preparation for the conference. So we will be here tomorrow once again. And yeah, thank you so much. Angie, so good to see you. RR2, the only emotion at this time is in approximately 11 days. This 30-day meditation will be over. I think we like to learn more from you. RR2, thank you so much. And it's not the end. We have so many more topics to talk about. And I'd really like to discuss a little bit more about ET contact and some connections about that. So is that something you're interested in hearing? What do you want to hear more about? What do you want me to talk more about? For me, the primary reason for this channel is to provide tools for you. So wherever that is, we can talk about everything, of course, across the board. And I will love to share that with you. So do put it down in the message below. And see you soon. Good to see you, Elmore, the Universal Humanitarian. Oh, thank you. So wonderful to meet you. Welcome. Greetings, Geraldine. I can't laugh and love the silly mind games we all have to discover. Yeah. Calum says, thank you so much. Each meditation is so potent. Thank you truly. You are a cosmic angel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry, my contacts are acting up. Much love to you. Take care. See you soon.